Welcome to a podcast of total terror. Night of the Nerdy Laser.
Welcome, everybody, to Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast. I'm your host, as always, Richard Yule.
You'll get that if you watch the videos. I'm Jeff Lown.
Yeah, and that's the second time I've been able to do that, too. So that's because we are talking about Santa's Little Helper here on episode 172 on the Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast. How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm all right.
Are you still knee-deep in snow?
No. It snowed the one huge time, and then like yesterday or the day before, there was no like weather report of snow. Woke up, there was a whole bunch of snow, and then by noon it was like melted.
It was 67 at midnight last night here.
That's too much.
I mean, it's hot.
Yeah.
For November. Yeah, so you might be wondering why we're doing a Halloween movie in November, and that's because it's always Halloween here on the Night of the Nerdy Laser podcast. So Joe Bob covered this, I guess, on the Halloween special.
I was looking for that when I went to watch it. Couldn't find out. There's because instead of just having like one huge thing.
It must be because it's the last one he did. So
I couldn't find it, but I know it's on there.
Yeah, it's the Beelzebub or whatever.
Yeah.
So Joe Bob covered it and had Jeff Lieberman on it, who directed this movie.
Yeah.
And Darcy was in the mask the whole time and didn't talk.
So she was in character.
Yeah. So Synapse released it. We got Santa's Little Helper. Satan's Little Helper right here. And we're going to talk about the movie later in the show. We'll
Wait
of course
a minute. I saw it's streaming now according to IMDb, but Jack Black's in a movie.
Yeah, called Dear Santa.
Yeah, and he's Satan in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on Paramount Plus. It looks, I mean, like the premise is hilarious, but it looks terrible. Like the premise is like the kid's a bad speller. He says "Dear Satan," and he calls up Satan, but then Satan's like a genie, and
that's weird.
It's been getting really poor reviews, but the premise is hilarious. But then, I mean, I turned off the trailer; it looked so bad. So there you go.
Wow.
Damn it, you made me forget what I was saying.
I knew it was my
wonderful people. Yeah, we'll do our spoiler-free talk about the movie. Then we will spoil it, and you can watch it or not watch it and listen along. But first, we have show and tell. And I didn't even ask you, Jeff. Do you have anything?
No, I don't.
This is the part of the show where Jeff just randomly looks around his room. Sees if he can grab something.
There we go. I got a new Xbox controller.
You nerd. What is it? How many Xbox controllers do you have, Jeff?
I have two. I break a lot. Like the stick. I break the sticks.
Because you're like, stupid game, and you throw it across the room.
I haven't thrown a remote since probably PlayStation 1, but I used to throw the Super Nintendo ones into the TV as a kid.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Super Nintendo. The problem with Super Nintendo games and all those like Genesis, that era. I was thinking about this earlier because, like, you know, those games were you just played them over and over and over. They were super hard. A lot of them were, you know.
Yeah.
So you just had to play the same fucking thing over and over and over and over. And then you got good enough that you kept going forward, you know, unless it's Ghosts and Goblins. And fuck that game. And because I love the artwork, I love everything about that game. But that game is impossible.
I used to have a cool Ghost and Goblin shirt I got from somewhere. I think I got it on like clearance from maybe I can't remember what it was called, ThinkGeek, which GameStop bought and absorbed and kind of just ruined. It had such cool stuff. It had like so many cool like Portal 2 things with like the cube and um, just a lot of video game stuff. Like I got Portal posters, like the posters that were in the game, like the safety posters and
Yeah.
just a lot of cool stuff. And like they always did a fun thing for April Fool's Day. They always had like 10 fake merchandises. So they did this like Lost alarm clock. So it was always like the sound from Lost. It was like, and I woke up one day before school and I was like, oh my God, I want to get that. And I was like, wait, what's today? And I was like, they almost got me. But then GameStop bought them, and I was like, cool, this is going to make it so much easier to get like cool stuff. And really, they just were like, no, now we own you and you're gone. And here's some bad stuff.
I don't know how GameStop's making it, man. So I put more thought into my show and tell.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up here. So me and Jeff have talked about, I don't know if publicly, but for sure to each other, about Clown in a Cornfield, which is a young adult book that is not a young adult book. I mean, you think it's going to be sissy, but it's not. It's a good horror slasher.
It's along the lines of like Scream and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I have read the entire series now, and they get better. I mean, like the first one's solid, the second one's really good, and then the third one I think is mind blowing.
Is this one called like Church of Friendo or something like that?
The third one is, yeah. So you got Clown in a Cornfield, then you have Clown in a Cornfield, Friendo Lives, and then you have Church of Friendo, which in retrospect, I kind of wish it was Friendo. The first book was just called like Friendo, and then the second book was called like Friendo Lives, and then the third book was called, Church of Friendo, and then you could just keep Friendo in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he probably didn't know he was making a trilogy, or I don't know. But I could ask him, because Adam Caesar is coming to FrankenCon in right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, next May 9th and 10th. He will be at FrankenCon signing books and stuff. So I've got the first book right here.
Hey, look at that. There it is.
Although I listen to the audiobook, which is exceptional. That's what I'm doing now, Jeff. I told you I'm burning through like audiobooks like crazy.
Yeah.
I have instructed my wife to never let me buy another book again.
You need it. You need them.
I mean, I love them, but I don't read it. Like I feel like I'm wasting time by reading because I could be doing something else. Because I can listen to the audiobook and like exercise or whatever.
I get both sides.
I mean, I'm mostly joking, but I'm not.
No, I mean, I mean, I went from, strictly listening to podcasts to listen to a lot of audiobooks. So that's how I got through so many. I've gotten through like almost 100 books in the last 2 years because of that. So, I mean, I did a handful of them. They were like the physical one.
So I will say, if you don't know anything about Clown in the Cornfield, just don't read the back, and don't read the backs of the other two either, because I didn't. And so I feel like I mean, it's telling you the synopsis of the story, but I mean, I think if you just read it or listen to it without knowing anything about it, man, I mean, I think that's part of why I was just mind blown by the end of the third one.
I agree. So I went in time on it as well, and it was much better that way.
I mean, it's kind of like books in general, right? Like, so I'm listening to How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix right now. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm at like the 5 hour mark, so I've burned through 7 hours, and I just started it the other day. But I knew nothing about it. Like, I didn't read the back. I mean, I know the title, obviously. But, dude, that book is so not what you think it is. I mean, and I've just gotten to the really, really good part where everything changed. And so I'm interested. After I listen to it, I'm going to read the back of it and see. Like, I'm going to think that I'm better off for not knowing anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, I have a handful of stuff I have the audiobooks for it. Right now I'm reading through the audiobook of Hunger Games. It's pretty good. Because I had never really watched Hunger Games or read anything like
The first two are great. I love the first two. They're really good. The books are good. The
I
movies
think
are good.
I think I had a grudge against it because it was one of those movies that was at theaters when I worked there. So I was like, oh my God, these people
Well,
are so
and
annoying. Katniss and like,
yeah,
oh, shoot an arrow and he go, it's the arena. And I'm like, oh, I don't care, dude. Like,
no. The best part about that story are all the other characters. Literally
like
all
Katniss.
the other ones. Like, I mean, especially the movie. I mean, you have Stanley Tucci and Woody Harrelson and Donald Pleasance. I mean, or Sutherland. I always get them confused. So yeah. But the books are good. I mean, the third one is just abysmal. But and considering the second one is a cliffhanger, the second one ends on a cliffhanger. And then the third one is just so bad.
Does the first one end the Hunger Games or does it continue? Is it like just a long drawn out thing? Because at the point I'm at, spoiler alert for Hunger Games people, it's down to like 7 or 8 people. Like all the other ones have died.
Yeah.
So does she get through it, or is there a twist that happens?
I mean, I don't want to ruin it.
All right.
But I mean, the end of the Hunger Games happened basically.
Oh, okay. So then another,
and then another one in the next one.
She has bad luck.
I can't actually remember when things take place, but because I mean, it's been a long time since I watched the movies and read the book. I mean, it's been 15 years since I read the book. Maybe something like that.
I was reading that, and what else did I have?
Okay, don't sidetrack me. I'm not done.
Go ahead.
Clown on Cornfield. The other reason I'm bringing it up. Did you hear what they did?
Oh, they greenlit the project for the movie.
Oh no, they didn't greenlight it. They finally announced a release date.
Oh, so it's already
it's done.
It's
I knew it was following Adam. I knew it was already done like 2 months ago. And I was just hoping for a trailer on the week of FrankenCon. You know, by the time we get to FrankenCon, dude, it opens on FrankenCon night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh.
So that might be fun. That might be something we can do. All right. So, I did not know. Oh, the cast is crazy.
I didn't look. I mean, I just saw his page on Instagram for something.
Okay, so I really need to know who. Okay, so
Will Sasso and Kevin Durant. I like that guy.
Kevin Durant. Who is he playing?
Arthur.
Look, he's playing Arthur.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, that's gonna be good. No, Kevin Durant is great. He'll be a great Arthur.
Yeah, Will Sasso's playing Sheriff Dunn.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, Sheriff Dunn. Oh, that's a good one. I guess it doesn't matter who's playing. Carson McCormick, who's he playing?
Carson McCormick?
He's from Shazam,
Cole.
I can't remember.
He's playing Cole.
Oh, is he Cole?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, and the director is Eli Craig from Tucker and Dale. Man, this thing, I'm excited because it's a Shudder film.
Oh, is it?
It's RJ.
That's right. I did see that.
And Shudder have acquired it.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think they could do something with it.
I mean, it's a wide release. It says they've acquired Clown on the Cornfield with a wide theatrical release planned for May 9th, 2025.
Yeah. I hope they do a cool poster for it, because right now it's just the picture of the book cover.
So I'm excited. I'm excited. So we should have a trailer probably first of the year.
Yeah, I'm guessing so.
Because I
Teaser,
looked like
anyway.
I looked like a month ago and I didn't see one. But no, that's cool, man. I guess that Katie Douglas is playing Quinn.
Mhm.
Amy watched that Ginny and Georgia show. So I know who that is. Who's Aaron Abrams playing? Is he playing her dad?
Aaron Abrams. Dr. Maybrook?
Yeah,
Yeah.
her dad. All right. Well, enough of that. Read the book and then watch the movie. And really, honestly, just go see the movie because I really need the other two to be made in
'Cause
a
they get
bad
better.
way.
Yeah, I need to check Audible come Black Friday for
Dude, the
sale.
third one is so good.
Dang
I mean,
library.
it's mind blowing, like with the direction he takes it. Like you kind of get it with the name of it. Yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of understand where it's going. But man, what he does to the characters.
Well, I mean, even in 2, it expands so much from what 1 is, and like
Yeah.
I could see based on like the title at 3, like how it could even go further. But yeah. So I mean, we'll see. It should be good. I mean, I liked the first 2, haven't read the third, but I do want to read that other one that he did. Was it
Oh,
Influence?
Influencer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's out now too.
I need to check for that. But yeah, I mean, good for Adam. He's cool. He's a horror fan, so
Yeah, he is. I mean, I need to contact him because I hope the release date actually doesn't interfere with anything. So I need to contact him and see about that.
yeah.
All right. Which I wouldn't think it would, but you never know.
Do you want to, before we get into the movie and talk about our buddy Jason down at the dungeon, did you want to talk about kind of the show going forward or not yet?
I mean, we probably can. I mean, it's the end of November, right?
Yeah. Let's let everybody in on it. So
Night of Nerdy Laser is going, I guess the best way to say it is going to once a month.
correct.
So we're going to do Night of Nerdy Laser. It'll be the same format and everything, I imagine. So once a month. Probably, I mean, I don't know, probably the end of the month, I would say. I'd say it'll be the last week of the month. To keep it kind of steady, so at the end of the month you can
And that way, like towards the end of October, we could do a Halloween one and all that stuff.
Yeah. So what's going on the other 3 weeks? Well, or sometimes another 4 in certain cases.
Yeah, we're not going away.
So so Nerdy Laser is coming back. If you remember the show that was kind of before me and Matt did Nerdy Laser, and then I did it before Matt and stuff. And so Nerdy Laser is kind of a pop culture show. There's not really a set format. I mean, I think we're going to, in time, have a few set formats. Like I think once a month, we're kind of going to do a deep dive into a subject and really kind of, hopefully teach people or make people aware of a certain thing if they're not aware of it, or learn more if they are.
Yeah, for example, like Marvel, like we would just, if we were picking like Iron Man, we wouldn't just go over the Iron Man movies. We'd go over Iron Man comic books, just story history of Iron Man, just stuff like that too, just to kind of give you a broader sense of like the topic. And we think it'll be fun. It's definitely a format change, but I think it'll be worth it for sure.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we'll still cover movies, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But it'll be like an action movie or comedy movie or sci-fi movie. I mean, it won't be a horror movie, which that'll be fun too. And I mean, I know me and Jeff will, I want to do like a Jean-Claude Van Damme episode, and then the following week we might cover a movie that we pick from him. So we might do a deep dive on Jean-Claude, and then pick a movie of his to watch. Same thing with like Dolph Lundgren and any action star or
It's a way.
anyone.
It's a way for us to cover more movies that we like, while not just being stuck in horror. Not that we don't like horror, but like there's a lot of other stuff that we enjoy, and our listeners, that there's that crossover too. We think that you guys are going to enjoy it as well. So
Yeah, it'll be fun. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a way for me and Jeff to kind of continue the show. We've had lots of conversations.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. What we
it was that or quit the show or whatever, and we like doing it. We don't have a huge fan base, listener base, but I do know people. Some people listen, so that makes me happy. And if you guys can just push things going forward, and we can work on that and try to get this thing going, a little bit more momentum. But hopefully we'll have more we'll just hit that more broad spectrum of things. And yeah,
it'll be good. We'll see how it works. If it's a total failure, like everything we do, we could always go back. Nothing's stopping us.
Or we'll just stop. I don't know. So I think Night of the Nerdy Laser will probably continue its episode count. So we won't like go back to anything. And the Nerdy Laser, I might look back and see what number we ended on and just pick it up, because I don't like to, it'd be cool to just keep doing,
Yeah, and I think, what we could even say we could do is like, if it's a topic you covered 8 years ago, we could do it again and call it Redux or whatever.
Yeah. So what we think is going to happen is the feed will stay the same. You won't have to join another feed. The name will probably go to Nerdy Laser, and then the episodes, for instance, if we decide a deep dive is called a deep dive, we might do deep dive and then the subject, and then NONL, or NOTNL for Night of the Nerdy Laser, and then the movie, and then that way it gives you guys
easier if you want to go to certain episodes.
What that episode is.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, let us know what you think at Night of the Nerdy Laser on Instagram and Facebook. You can email us if you would like to, nightofthenerdylaser@gmail.com. And we can already talk about our good pal, because guess where I got this beautiful Blu-ray Satan's Little Helper that was put out by Synapse Films. I got it from Jason down at the dungeon.
Heck yeah.
And so I had some stuff for trade, so I took it to him and traded him, and I got this sweet movie. So, or terrible movie if you're Jeff. So we'll see. But yeah, Jason is a good friend of ours. He's Jeff hates him and wants to wrestle him, but he's a good friend of mine, and he has a great store called The Dungeon right here in Maryville, Tennessee, where the more is Maryville, and hate it. Would not agree. But right here in Maryville, Tennessee, you can find East Broadway, hit the roundabout, find Southland Books, drive around the building, and you will see Jason tied up selling all his physical media products, such as vinyl, laser discs, beta tapes, VHS tapes, DVD, HD DVD, 4K, Blu-ray, boutique physical media from Vinegar Syndrome, what's that place? TerrorVision, Severin, all the good stuff he's got. So check him out. And if you don't live right here in Tennessee, you can do what Jeff does. Follow him on Instagram at Southland_Dungeon, and you can see everything he gets because he posts. And if you like something, message him on Instagram and work something out. Tell him we sent you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do our spoiler-free Satan's Little Helper, where our main character is a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
But I thought at some point in the movie, because I did rewatch this yesterday, I'd already seen it. I thought at some point they said 13, but the back of the Blu-ray says 9, which
Yeah,
9 is more acceptable.
It makes sense that he's like kind of gullible and just so okay. There's a lot, it's a simple movie, but there's kind of a lot going on, like, and it's just like a crazy
horror
premise.
comedy.
Yeah, it's like a crazy premise. We get a cool intro of like a video game, like a Satan beating up people and a little kid helping him and stuff like that. But we get that, and then we get like the most absurd mom of a character. It's just everything's kind of so over the top in this, and that part's kind of fun. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just at times it just catches me a little weird or something. I don't know. It's just kind of hard to explain. But I don't hate the movie because I get what it was trying to do, and like when you watch it from start to finish, thinking that, then you're like, okay, I get it. It's funny and it's just so stupid. But like you're saying, there is some charm to it as well. So
I mean, I think the movie's full of charm. Like I think the characters are a little odd and a little off-putting, some of them, and just some of the things, like with the 9-year-old wanting to marry his sister and stuff, like weird kind of, but it's fine. Yeah, so the premise is basically this kid's sister and her boyfriend comes in, and it makes him mad because she has a boyfriend because he wants to sleep with her. I don't know. And so they come in off the ferry, and it's Halloween, and the tradition is him and his sister go trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Well, he's obsessed with this Satan's Little Helper game. Like, and so, the game is all about helping Satan. So there's a commentary, where it's like, but the commentary is kind of making fun of the whole subject, but if, so he's playing the game. He loves the character. He's dressing up like Satan's Little Helper.
Yeah.
So it's trick-or-treat night, and the kid already hates the boyfriend.
Like, he came in, as soon as he comes in, he's just like, no.
So the kid kind of runs away and sees what is further known as the devil or Satan. So he killed. All this happens during the day, so it's kind of weird because, like, the guy dressed up as Satan, like, this isn't necessarily a spoiler because it only happens a few times, but like he kills them, and then he sets them up like they're a yard decoration or a porch decoration. And the kid thinks it's so cool, but he has no idea that it's like real, kind of. He thinks it's all fake, but all the crap's real. And so then the boy asks Satan if he can be his little helper, and Satan nods his head, and because Satan never talks, he has this mask on that's like gray with some horns and a big goofy grin.
Kind of cartoony, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty cool mask, I think. And from there we just get them, going around this town and him, Satan killing people while the kid like keeps guard of stuff. And
whoa. He's just all excited all the time. That kid, I always laughed at.
Well, he thinks it's a video game, right? Like, he's just it's sort. You just have to suspend some belief. and you'll enjoy this movie a lot more. Look, I can pick it apart, and there's just bones left, but there's no point to it because it's a great movie. Because that's only like a small premise, and we won't even go into it on this. But what happens like as it further gets into it, because that's probably only 40 minutes of the movie, and then you got another hour. So,
Yeah.
so it's a cool story and with a cool ending. And it's very Halloweeny, so I think it would be perfect to watch if you are either in October or want that Halloween feeling back.
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure it's one worth watching. Like, so don't think that I was that down on it, but I remember. I think I might have told the story on the podcast or just to you that I remember finding the Blu-ray of this in Walmart, and I guess they were like bootlegs, so I didn't buy
Oh.
it. But and then I remember like I was like, they should have bought that because it's hard to find this movie. Not now, but
Yeah.
you know, when I saw that it was years back, and I remember reading on like some boards or some groups on Facebook and stuff, and it was just like, yeah, it was a bootleg and it was terrible quality. Like somebody just ripped it and then put it in the store to sell, and it was just weird the whole situation. But like, I don't know why this one isn't talked about more as like Halloween movies.
No, it's not at
'Cause
all. Like,
it's Halloween day and Halloween night.
Yeah.
Why? And I mean, any other movie that has that, like Night of the Demons, people love. Halloween,
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. Those are all like one day Halloween things. Like, why are people not putting this up there with those? Is the quality the same? Maybe not, but I mean, it has its merits, and like you said, it has charm. It's a fun one you could watch like at a party or something, like with everybody for Halloween, because that's how it feels at times, like a party movie.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. There's some really funny moments. One in particular I'll talk about in the spoiler thing. So Jeff recommends it. I for sure recommend it. I think it'd be good as a blind buy, but that's just me. And you can currently, at the time of this recording, watch it on Shudder, and you should be able to catch Joe Bob's on Shudder too.
Yep.
So if
I
you are,
I would have found it.
if you are bowing out, I will say just thank you for listening. Go to Night of the Nerdy Laser on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a follow. Email us at nightofthenerdylaser@gmail.com, and let the spoilers begin.
So yeah, what I mean, as far as spoilers go, what's the part that you wanted to talk about on this section?
The funniest fucking thing is that they get this shopping cart. And they go into this hardware store and they buy, or this grocery store, whatever, and they buy stuff. And,
they don't buy nothing; they just leave.
Well, that's true. They do go up to the counter like they're going to buy it, so it's all bagged up, and then he just walks out with it.
Like, hey, you didn't pay, and then he's like, "Oh well," he just leaves with him. That whole scene is pretty funny.
Yeah, so he's got this shopping cart, and they start to play like a game. So it takes me back to like Toxic Avenger. And he's like, pregnant lady, 20 points. And he's just like got the shopping cart. And the point of view is hilarious. The way they're all, the way they're kind of both excited is hilarious. And
yeah,
some of the Satan stuff is just funny. Like his motions, like, he'll just point like with both his hands, or
he
or
gives
do
him
that,
like
or
and stuff.
But then he's like, oh, a blind person. And there's just a random blind person. Like, it's just, I don't know. That scene cracks me up. I love it. So I've always been curious about animal death, because none of it's really bothered me. Like dog stuff, turtle stuff, and Cannibal Holocaust, stuff like that. I mean, it's tough. It can be tough to watch. But dude, he smashes this cat against this door, and it took my breath away. Like, I did not think that was going to happen.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, "Whoa,
as
buddy!"
a marker, he uses the cat as like a paintbrush and spells out "boo" on the door panel.
Yeah, and the kid and that mom, she's like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" And he's like,
Oh yeah,
"It's very."
yeah.
I feel like this might have been inspiration for Art the Clown, like how the character doesn't talk and acts sometimes.
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it certainly is kind. I mean, it's not the same.
The
Because,
earlier
Art is
incarnations of
very
Art,
expression, and he's very expression. Has expressions and stuff. I feel like I was going to make up a word right there.
expressionism.
Expressionistic is what I was going to say, but
Interesting. I don't know that one.
me neither.
Expressionistic?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, close enough.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know, man. I just find this movie to be just very charming. There's some twists and turns in it. Some of it I like, some of them. I mean, it gets to be a bit much towards the end because we get the twist that, that Satan dies,
Yeah.
but it's not Satan. It's actually the boyfriend's father, and he thinks he's Satan. But he's actually not. The real Satan put on a Jesus costume.
And he shot his hand through a crucifix through his hand, which I laughed. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah. Yeah. So
And then
Satan becomes God, and the little boy starts to follow God.
Yeah. Yeah. And then at the end, one more little twist.
Oh, I mean, that's a pretty great one. So
Yeah.
you don't get a whole lot of backstory about Satan other than the fact that it's that it might be the mayor's son from this small town.
Yeah.
And just because he's a dick.
So there's a part where there's a news broadcast going on the TV. That's the guy who this is.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I was
Yeah, well, I mean, that's who they were saying it is. I mean, we never really know because we never see his face.
Right.
Now, she does at the end, so she knows that person. So if it was that person, why would she let him in?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess at that point, after what they went through, they kind of let their guard down as far.
I mean, I'm not gonna, like I said, I could nitpick this thing to death probably, but it's not worth it. I've seen it twice in the past month, and it's great. I think it's a fun movie. It's low budget, but man, I mean, everybody does such a good job in it. And people, when everybody thought Joe Bob was going to talk about this on the Joe Bob Facebook, groups, they were trashing this kid, saying he was the most irritating kid. I don't feel like he was. I mean, I could
little
see
kid?
the little kid.
I don't know
where he was irritating, but man, I've sat through some really bad. I mean, just watch Last Action Hero. My God, you want to talk about one of the shittiest kid acting roles that you'll ever see?
Watch Italian movies. Italian horror movies.
Single-handedly ruins Last Action Hero, dude.
Yeah,
I love Last Action Hero. Like, I think it's great.
We're doing an Arnold breakdown on the deep dive.
Oh yeah, we can. Now, me and Corey, back in the day, Corey came on when I didn't know Corey from Spooky Dudes.
Would you know him from sleeping outside of his house?
Like, we only knew him. Well, I only knew him just through podcasting, really.
Oh, okay.
And so, I asked him if he wanted to do Last Action Hero, and we did. So, it would be fun. I may be able to get some of the old Nerdy Laser podcasts and maybe do like a Flashback Friday thing or something.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad, yeah. But no, I got some ideas. Like I told you, I mean, as far as this movie goes, yes, watch it. My opinion hasn't changed since we did the spoiler-free part of the show. But
did you like anything? Did anything stick out?
I liked the video game intro. That was cool. was a
It's
cool
like a
little
flash
touch.
game. Remember those flash games?
Yeah, it was an 8-bit like little flash
Yeah.
game. I don't know. I thought the boyfriend, he gets beat up a few different times in this by Satan. Satan just like jumps him in an alley at one point and just beats him down. The cat thing I wanted to talk about just because it caught me off guard too. I was like, why is that so violent?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's. I mean, I think this one would benefit from watching the Joe Bob one because you'd learn something about it too, like more behind the scenes stuff, I'd guess.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Lieberman's on there, and so that's cool. I mean, it was fun. I'd like to watch it again with his commentary. So
yeah, I know. I'm all right on Satan's Little Helper.
okay, I thought you were gonna hate it.
No, I mean I'm pretty lenient with movies. You should know that at this point. I mean, I'll say I hate them, but then I'll watch the whole thing and I'm like, all right, that was fine. But I mean, because I was just looking over my list this month, I've watched 36 movies this month, and I've watched mostly horror, or not horror. I've watched almost no horror, just what we did for the show.
Oh,
But I mean, like I've watched. Oh man, there's some Liam Neesons in here that I just
ooh, nonstop. And what's the Ice Road Trucker one I watched?
There's one called Cold Pursuit where he plows roads, but that's not the one you're thinking of because that one's a comedy. This, I think, the one you're talking about is Ice Road, like ice. It's called Ice Road.
Yes, yeah.
And I thought that's what I was watching.
Me and my wife randomly watched that movie because it was on. It came on Netflix like a few years ago when like not a billion things were coming on Netflix,
right?
And so it was like, oh, it's on Netflix. Let's give it a watch. And we watched it. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm watching one of his now called "In the Land of Sinners and Saints," where he's like an IRA. Well, no, he's fighting like the IRA or something like that. But
how's that going?
It's okay so far. I couldn't finish it, but I mean, I watched that. I went back and watched a couple Rush Hour movies. I watched Escape Plan finally.
I need to watch Escape Plan again because the first time I watched it, I was not in the right headspace to watch it.
It wasn't bad, but I mean, I've watched a couple good ones too, like Braveheart. I watched The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, which I liked way more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And then it took me like 15 hours, but I watched the second Pirates of the Caribbean because God dang, that movie just movies. And it's not even the longest one. It's the third one. And that one's almost 3 hours. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it through that. I can't.
There's just no reason for those movies to be that fucking long.
No, I noticed with the second one, like it was just, there's parts that just drag out for absolutely no reason other than to show off their big set pieces and like pirate stuff. And it's like, got it. We're in the second movie. We know how pirate stuff works, Disney. Like, thank you. But no, all this to say is like, you could see how excited I am talking about other things other than just horror. Not to say I'm not a horror fan, but like,
yeah, I mean,
think that's going to be fun.
Cool. And I think we can do a book club podcast one day. Like, say we're gonna like do a book and cover it.
Yeah, I mean,
I can do an audio book, so I'm usually the one that probably wouldn't read.
Yeah, and I mean, I could think of other stuff we could do and all that as well. But I mean, it's gonna be fun. I think everybody that listens is gonna like it. And speaking of people that listen, if you're not, you could go over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You could subscribe to the show. You give us a 5-star rating because the algorithms, and you could give us a review on some of those as well. I think mostly the Apple Podcast one, but I mean, if you don't check us out there,
we'll come and get you.
Yeah. If you don't check us out there, obviously watch us on our YouTube page, Night of the Nerdy Laser there as well, and enjoy it. Let us know what you think. I mean, our goal was to get to a certain number of followers. We didn't do it, so that's pretty standard for us.
Yeah, pretty standard.
That's Night of the Nerdy Laser. Keeps it standard, baby.
It's all right. At least we get to talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it for this episode. And we appreciate everybody listening. Do what Jeff said, or he'll get really sad. So until next time, what should they do, Jeff?
Keep it bloody.
Because somebody has to right now.